Great landscape of the United States of America. I'm going to a high school football game myself. I got Northridge taking on Calera tonight. I'll be in Calera. My first trip to Calera. I'm looking forward to it tonight to see the Jaguars take on, isn't it the former home of our boy Kobe Prentice? Good thing Kobe Prentice is on the team because I'm a Northridge Jag fan tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. Let me know where you guys are watching from inside the comment box. I see Rocket Town up in here. Brent Adams, what's going on? Chris from New Jersey. Marcus Cottrell, what's going on, man? Southern Red, good morning to you. Road Warrior, Deer Hunter 175, good morning, man. I know you're watching from school. Lamarion Arnold and Kevin C, what's going on, man? Thank you so much. Feinbaum and Heather Denich are picking Bama to lose 4 games this year. Yeah, you got to get those ratings up in the preseason, man. Ryan, what's going on, man? I see you coming to us from Connecticut, man. That's awesome. And Patriot Life is in here on TGIF. What's going on? Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube. As I like to do on Fridays, I have a mailbag that I open up on Thursday night. So I post that in the side of the community tab so you can jump in there. Ask me questions. I'm going to answer some questions today regarding the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm going to go over the fall camp news. Look, they practiced through fall camp. And the most important part is probably number 7, which I'll get to at the back end of what I'm, going to talk about this morning. But look, they're healthy. That is, you get to this point in time, you get to week 1, you're healthy, because there's a lot of programs out there. You could point to Texas. I mean, there's been some really notable injuries this early fall camp in August. I know it's still hot. You're like, it's not fall. It is in the college football world. Weatherly Future, man, I see you inside the comment box. Vanna, good morning to you. I appreciate you. Alabama is healthy, right? So, I mean, there's been some programs that have had to kick some players off the team, just saying. Alabama's in really, really good position. That's point number 7. So how I'm going to do the show today, I'm going to talk about my points, and then I'm going to go to the mailbag. And I appreciate you guys rocking with me this morning on Bama Football on YouTube. Yesterday, we had Coach Kalen DeBoer's press conference, which I thought was amazing. And then you had Chuck Martin, who was complaining about the transfer portal. Look, I think that with the transfer portal, it's open season for everybody. And the thing you got to know about the kicker situation is those circles are really tight. You don't think that Graham Nicholson is smart enough to know that when Will Reichard left, he was like, man, maybe I should test the waters. Look, I get it. There's this thing called loyalty, and I believe in it. Even at the business level, like you saw Courtney Morgan just turn down $1 million to stay here with Coach Kalen DeBoer. Alabama did match that, right? You get a $10 million offer, you're taking it. So my point is, yeah, loyalty is one thing, but also business and feeding yourselves is a different one, right? So, for example, let's say Miami of Ohio could offer him this amount, but Alabama could be like, look, and I'm not saying they contacted him before the transfer portal because they didn't. I mean, Coach Kalen said that yesterday. But this is the world we live in. You go into the transfer portal, you could very well take your name out. I mean, there was a lot of schools hitting up Jalen Milroe, right? King Family Reacts, I appreciate you. So, look, the transfer portal, until they have full parameters and things are locked down, it is what it is. Look at what Iowa admitted that they're sliding into Caden Proctor's DMs. Jalen Milroe said that people were sliding into his DMs in December. Right? You lose some, you get some. Patriot Life inside with the fan funders. I appreciate you, Patriot Life. Thank you so much for taking care of John, Greg, Perry, Jaden, and Pasha inside the comment box. Yeah, someone asked me inside the comment box if I saw Talia Tungavailoa in the story. I think I didn't have time to kind of put it all together, but it looks like John Talty, who now works for 24/7, looks like he's coming out with some sort of a book, like kind of a tell-all. And inside that, and I think it was a transcript from it, said that Talia Tungavailoa was approached by Auburn to go to the Tigers for $1.5 million, right? Is that kind of the skinny of it? And Tua steps in and is like, yo, we're a Bama family. Now, Tua, you remember the deal that he signed with the Dolphins, and you saw that the deal that he recently signed, right? I mean, he just got absolutely paid. He got paid coming out of college as well. But I love that. Tua's like, yo, we're a Bama family. So, like that story, Big Brother stepping in. And you know what? Big Brother stepping in, too, over here at the University of Alabama. Malachi Moore, his brother, goes to Alabama, and he's like, we felt that Alabama will be the great spot for him to be able to thrive as a preferred walk-on. Yo, when Big Brother steps in, that's it. My son, he's a Big Brother. And so my son and my daughter are very different people. As you know, if you have parents, your kids are completely different. And Lacey, you know, she's a young lady, and as she grows, you know, you're always kind of parenting different with your children, right? As much as you try to parent the same, you have to parent differently, whatever. Man, but when Caden lays down the law, man, you don't mess with the older brother. That's just how it is. So Tua stepping in for Talia. Love to see it. All right, let's go through points 1 through 7, and then I'll talk some mailbag. I'm not sure how long I'll stay today. I got some stuff to take care of. It's Feel Good Friday, and I appreciate you guys watching. Oh, before I go, someone, because I did the dub on that video where I did like the voiceover on Chuck Martin, and someone was like, man, I didn't like that. Look, I'm trying to have a little bit more fun in my life, because if you know me, I am so regimented and like by the book. I think it's important for my like health and well-being to like have a little fun. So I appreciate you guys, you know, rock with me. I mean, every single time I try to, you know, I am really professional. Every single thing that I do, that is like my biggest thing when I step onto the stage. And I hope that you guys see that, you know, from me all the time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I want to provide a professional platform for you guys to talk Alabama football, right? And talk about the news as they come in. That's literally, there was like a mission, that is like where it would be. So, and the other thing is like, think about it. We're almost close to 100,000 subscribers. Try to please 10 people. Try to please 20. Try to please 50. Try to please 50,000. Try to please 100. You can't, right? It's impossible. But I think like my excitement and you guys are here, and I appreciate it, you know, because there's a lot of different people out there, and I'm always asking you, do your thing too. Support them, you know. Yeah, you want some of those Beats by Dre? I had some of those Beats by Dre. I liked them too. I just like the normal, the iPhone headphones that you plug into the phone. Those are the ones that I like. So if you see me walking around with the cord, I like it. I don't have to charge it. I do have the AirPods, but you know, it's like, and I do like them for, you know, when I work out, but I don't know. I like the ones that are just honestly just like plugged in. All right, let's run down 1 through 7, what we learned from fall camp. And you could post, how about this? While I'm going through mine, what are some things that you learned from fall camp? I'm talking from the time they started on July 31st to right now. What did you learn in fall camp? Just throw it out there. Doesn't have to be, it could be big, could be small, whatever. Let's go through it. All right, I'm leading off with Milrose Prime for a huge year. You look at the 2 scrimmages that Alabama had. The guy absolutely came with it in each of those scrimmages, right? The first scrimmage, I think he had 4 touchdowns. The second one, he had 2 or 3, 7 total touchdowns. Yo, I think he's ready to display something that we haven't even seen from him just yet under this new system with Nick Sheridan and Coach Kalen DeBoer. I think they're ready to unleash Jalen Milroe. Like, man, yeah, get in that Heisman. If you like to throw a little bit down while you can. I don't even know what those odds are right now, but I think he's about to feast this year. And we learned that it's his team. There's no cake bake-off. You know, he's the leader. He's the one distributing the beats by Dre this year. Next year, I think it'll be probably like Justice Haynes. That's just my early saying. You talk leaders of the team. Every year, the leader gets that privilege, right? They work out to do with Beats by Dre. He's connected with his receivers. He has an arsenal of talent. He has the running backs. He has his tackles back, his offensive line set up. He's got an elevated OC from what we think. And really, we don't know too much about Nick Sheridan, but we do know about Coach Kalen DeBoer. That's why I'm confident in what he's going to bring. And I think he's going to have his monster season. We've talked about, you know, how many yards, how many touchdowns. I mean, he's going to absolutely ball out. 3,500 yards is kind of the minimum what I think he'll throw for this season. Okay. Nick Sheridan takes over a loaded offense. Top to bottom, I mean, it's pretty much A+ across the board. I guess you could, if you wanted to nitpick, you could probably say like the tight end room is like a B+. But overall, man, the offense is completely loaded. What's the weak spot on the offense? You want to go wide receivers? We could talk about 6 of them that are going to play. They're going to absolutely ball out. You want to talk about the running backs? I will take 3 into any single game. You want to talk about the offensive line? You want to talk about Caden Proctor? Let's talk about him. Transformed his body. He's ready to go. I guess you could say, hey, Welcome Formby hasn't played yet. Sure. Yeah, he'll prove it. He'll have to prove himself. Can't really say too much about Jane Roberts. Can't say too much about Parker Brailsford, right? You want to talk about the tight end room? Fine. I think in the 12 personnel set, you'll get a healthy dose of two big tight ends, depending on which ones they use, and they'll do their thing. So when Nick Sheridan takes over, you want to talk about the quarterback? Talk about him. He's about to show you. Nick Sheridan landed into a gold mine. Seriously, came over here to work with the tight ends. Probably elated just to come continue the growth with Coach Kalen DeBoer. Or maybe it was by design. I have no idea. Maybe Grubb knew that he was going to stay in Washington the whole time. It kind of seems like it when you rewind it. When we watched 30 for 30 on this season, right? Grubb was probably always going to stay with the Seahawks, so maybe Sheridan already knew. I don't often rock Adidas, but this is like my workout shirt. Man, I'm doing a day in the live video so I can show you guys like my crazy day. Cause I edit the show. I come home from workouts, 4:45, wake up, get to workouts, 5:30, 6:30, I'm back home, make breakfast for the kids. And then from 7 to like literally before the show starts, I'm editing like these graphics and stuff like that. But I like this Adidas shirt. Nick Sheridan fell into a complete gold mine. If these guys aren't scoring over 40 points a game, I'm not sure what happened. It comes with a little bit of pressure, but you welcome the pressure. Plus, you got, confidence in all these guys that are absolutely going to eat. Feinbaum said and lose 4 games. Come on. 4 games. Somebody asked me on the mailbag if I think they'll go undefeated. I'll answer that here in a second. All right. Look, Jarvis said it inside the comment box. Ryan Williams, good as advertised. For those of you down in LA, that's Lower Alabama. For those of you that saw Saraland play, for those of you that watch high school football that saw Ryan Williams win 2 back-to-back Mr. Football awards, you probably already knew it. You probably already knew that he was going to come in here and make a splash. Here at the University of Alabama, we hype up every single freshman because they're usually a 5-star or a highly sought-out 4-star, and we expect those guys to come with it and expect them to play sooner than later. It's happened every single year for the last 8 years that I've covered Alabama, and I'm sure it happened the last 50 before that. Ryan Williams is absolutely special and better than advertised. The guy's first catch in the scrimmage is a 50-yard touchdown from Jalen Milroe. Yo, some guys have it, and that's just it. We all are sports fans. We all probably played some sports at some level. Some guys just have it immediately. That's how life is. Some guys have to work harder than others, right? Hard work beats out talent. Yo, when somebody has talent and when they can utilize that talent and be coachable, which is the greatest compliment that you can get when you're an athlete, is to be coachable. That's what Jamarcus Shepard's saying. That's what Coach Kalen DeBoer is saying, that he's coachable. Man, Ryan, look, I don't know if he's going to be the first wide receiver to step on the field, but he's going to play next Saturday. He's going to catch passes next Saturday. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited. I love that Hollywood emoji, too. That's what's up. He's going to play. And so is Xavier Brown. Kalen DeBoer talked about each of those guys yesterday. Coach Saban always talked about this. And Kobe Prentice talked about it too yesterday. For young guys to be able to step on the field that are freshmen, they have to have one characteristic. They have to be mature. And while Ryan Williams loves to have fun on social media, right? Follow my TikTok. By the way, you can get all of the athletes. If you want to get their gear, go to Athletes Thread. And if you want the Lank merchandise, that is going to be dropping soon as well. They're going to have more merchandise rolling out with Lank. Right now, it's a little bit light. So if you came to the soup store, I wasn't really impressed with the gear that they had on stock, but I think they're going to full blown. So I think in a month, I think you're going to be able to get a ton of amazing. I'm going to get the gear as well. So support the athletes on Athletes Thread. But Ryan Williams, I mean, the guy is mature. Kobe Prentice said that. He said he's mature. 17 years old, and to be mature and to be clear-headed enough to understand like that going to Alabama is far better than any short-term deal that Auburn can offer you. Yo, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, man. This is still the program that sends guys to the league. It's a feeder program. All right, point number 4, the defense. We're talking about what we learned from fall camp. Ron, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box, man. See, Pastor was like he was unstoppable in high school. I'm telling you. Some guys are they just have it. Brandon, what's up, man? Today is my first day listening. Love it. Great presentation. I love the dub over, by the way. Thought it was hysterical. Man, yeah, and that's the thing, man. I can do, I like to have fun. And it's part of me, man. Like outside, I have a little bit of humor to me. And this is like my professional livelihood. So I thought the dub was funny. I thought it was hilarious. I love to do edits. Like in my friend group, I'm the guy who I run our social media account. Surprise, surprise. But I do edits and stuff like that. So I was having fun with it yesterday. I thought it was hilarious. You can rewatch it. It's on the video with Caitlin DeBoer's press conference yesterday. Look, and I'm glad you're here, Brandon. Thank you so much, man. I hope you have an amazing Friday. All right, so point number 4, the defense has been rebuilt. And what I mean by that, it's, Saban was a defensive-minded coach with a 3-4 defensive front. You've changed this. You've reconstructed it. Now, it's not completely in disarray. You bring in a 4-2-5, and you allow your inside linebackers, the 2 most talented inside linebackers in all of college football, to be able to run free. I like that. You give, you put a nose and a defensive tackle, big, hefty dudes who are over 300 pounds, and you create this bandit position for a guy like in the future, Keon Keeley, which will probably be the future, is probably going to be soon. You're going to see LT Overton elevated in that spot, and then you add a wolf position, which is, the Dallas Turner, William Anderson, Q Robinson, Keanu Coate, Akwe Russo, right? Well, the guys I just mentioned right there, you like it. No, it's about execution, and I strongly feel that Kane Womack has so much pressure on him because people don't play around with defense here at Alabama. And if you really wanted to kind of nitpick Alabama on the defensive side, you go after their corners. You got a freshman that hasn't played over here. I get it. He's a baller. He's a freshman. I'm going right at him. You're going towards Damani Jackson. I want to see if Damani Jackson is worth the hype. I want to test him. And behind him, Jalen Mbakwe. I want to test him. I want to test Deshaun Jones. That's what you got to test Alabama is their secondary. And Kane Womack knows that, and those guys in the back in the secondary, they know it. But the 4-2-5, it's been rebuilt, and it's going to be under a microscope. I ask you to understand that college football has changed to where the offense is going to score 45 points, and the defense they're going to allow points. There's no more allowing like 10 points anymore. That doesn't exist, right? That's like black and white TV. Now we're in color TV, okay? So be patient with it. With that said, pressure on the quarterback is going to be paramount, and turnovers are going to be something that I think this team prides itself off of. Turnovers do what? They win games. All right, point number 5. Inside linebacker power. I think when you looked at Alabama and you looked at all their tandems, I think the ability in this 4-2-5 for Deontay Lawson and Jahad Campbell, Justin Jefferson, when he gets on the field as well, to be able to just play as an inside linebacker, I think is going to elevate this overall defense. And I think those two guys are going to be, top 15 picks in the NFL draft in 2025. I really do. Jahad Campbell, I have a graphic here coming up. Someone asked about, who I think will really rise up. I think it's Jahad Campbell. I know LT Overton is getting a lot of praise, which is amazing. And I'm happy to hear that. Because I didn't really hear too much about him during the springtime. But Jahad Campbell, you're about to find out. Everybody's about to find out about Jahad Campbell. As soon as I saw him make 14 tackles last year against Mississippi State, I was like, ooh, he's about to blow up. Transfers are starting here at the University of Alabama. They are. If you look at the transfer graphic that I put up yesterday, all the transfers that pretty much came in, there's a few that aren't starting, like Austin Mack's not starting, King Mack, Cam Howard. There's a couple of the guys who aren't starting, but there's a good amount of transfers that are starting. And I did list Caden Proctor as a transfer. He transferred. He came back. It's okay. Learning lesson. He didn't mess up. He learned something. There's a difference between messing up and learning. He learned something. Dude's not even 20 years old. Parker Brailsford, he's a transfer. He's going to start, right? Jeremy Bernard, he's a wide receiver. He's going to start. 3 starters on the offense that are transfers. Jeremy Bernard, Caden Proctor, Parker Brailsford. 3 on the defense that are going to start. LT Overton, Keon Sabb, Damani Jackson. Damani Jackson, part of Nick Saban's transfer, right? That was after the Rose Bowl. And then 1 specialist that's a transfer is going to start, and that's Grant Nicholson. So I have 7 total transfers starting for Alabama, which isn't, by surprise. I mean, we live in the world of transfer portal. And I think that these guys are absolutely going to – I think every single one of those guys is going to flourish this season. I haven't really heard too much about Keon Sabb, to be honest. Maybe he's been a little bit overshadowed by Malachi Moore, which is fine. But Keon Sabb, he has the opportunity to, prove that he can be a safety back there that can be a high-impact safety for Alabama. Because let's face it. Keep It Funky TV, man. What's up? I see you inside the comment box. Jamie Bird, I see you. What's going on? Jimmy, what's going on, man? Thank you so much. See, and Jimmy, you bring up a great point. I mean, Feinbaum's been saying the dynasty's dead for, over a decade. That's literally how he built himself up, because every single time you say that, you get feedback. You get feedback from Alabama fans. You get feedback from Auburn fans. Every single time. I could do a video on it every single day and it'd be worth it. I could take calls every day and talk about, is the dynasty dead this year? It's endless. So that's how, he goes off ratings. And it was perfect last year probably for him when they lost to Texas. Because what happened when Alabama lost to Texas earlier in the season? Everybody wanted to fire Nick Saban. Everybody was freaking out. All Coach Saban did was steer the team back on course and make a run for the title game. That's all he did. All right. This team is absolutely healthy. Jaden Roberts is going to play against Western Kentucky. Coach Kalen DeBoer said it. I know he had surgery last Sunday. He's different than you or I. I don't know what the injury was. It was on his hand. He could play. He's an offensive lineman. He's known as the Hulk. I don't think a little cast or whatever he's in is going to slow him down. Xavier Brown just got his cast off. Jam Miller, he was working in a black jersey. That's probably just precautionary measures. He's going to be good as well. Having a team that is healthy, these are the things why I'm very confident about Alabama going into the season. Okay, 2 things. Number 1, their health. But number 2, their special teams is seasoned, right? Your kicker, he won the Lou Groza. James Burnup, he was a starter last year. Neelan Hibbett, your long snapper, is a senior. And just as Coach Kalen DeBoer said yesterday, he was like, man, you want to be stressed out, have a long snapper who's a greenhorn. Your kick returner, your punt returner, those guys don't necessarily have to have that experience. But with that said, Jeremy Bernard did it at Washington. He's probably a guy that can do it here at Alabama. But you have a handful of guys. What is there, 40 guys running over 20 miles an hour? That's what they said. All right. Let's go to some mailbag questions. So the mailbag questions, I always put them Thursday night. And to find that, it's on our community tab on our YouTube channel. You just post them in there, and I put them into a graphic and I bring them on screen. I love this question. Okay. Do you see any of the older guys from this coming season coming back for next season? When I say older, I mean guys that have been here, Bama, 2 years with minimal or 1 season of playing time. That's from Chris Woodson. So I was thinking about this, and I don't know, I didn't do too much research into this, but it got me thinking about guys that are currently juniors on this team. So here's a list. I literally just ran through it. So I might be missing a couple guys. But think about this. And I've been playing NCAA football, right, with you guys. This season, they're clearly loaded. Next season, a lot of guys come back on the game. So for sake, let's just rattle off some juniors, okay? Some of them might be redshirt juniors. Let's label them all as juniors. Deontay Lawson, junior. Damani Jackson, junior. Kendrick Law, junior. Emmanuel Henderson, junior. Jalen Milroe, junior. Jerry Bernard, junior. Devontae Smith, junior. Jaheim Otis, junior. Jahad Campbell, junior. Keanu Coate, junior. LT Overton, junior. Jan Miller, junior. Tyler Booker, junior. Geno Vandermark, junior. Parker Brailsford, redshirt sophomore. Tim Keenan, redshirt junior. You get my point? A lot of these guys will go to the NFL. I understand that. Theoretically, all those guys could come back if they wanted to. So what Coach Saban always did, literally as the final game of the season ended, before their agents could even speak to them, he would have a meeting with them immediately and give them their draft grade. Before they walked out of the locker room, and I'm sure that happens with all the coaches, but every single one of these guys already probably has a draft grade. They will get another draft grade after the season, and they'll have to make a decision. Coach Saban was always against, if you had like a 4th round draft grade, he would tell you to think about coming back. Now, if you have a 1st round to 3rd round, oh, that's real money. Take it. 1st and 2nd round money you don't play around with, right? You can get paid in the 3rd round as well. 4th round, 5th round, you got to come back. Think about it. All right, good question. Love it. This one circulates around recruiting. You think what On3 said with the quarterback from Notre Dame, Deuce Knight, who's out of Mississippi, if he flips to Auburn, that Caleb Cunningham does as well? That sounded crazy to me, and I don't know where they got that from. Jeff06. Jeff is a amazing fan funder right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Jeff, we appreciate you, man, and thanks for the question. Look, Deuce Knight's from Mississippi. Caleb Cunningham's from Mississippi. So is A.K. Deer. I know there's a lot of things going on with Auburn recruiting right now. It wouldn't surprise me if they do get a flip from Deuce Knight. I really haven't seen that. I don't follow Notre Dame recruiting. I've just seen that Auburn's been doing okay in-state recruiting. But the thing is, it's a long play with recruiting. I mean, it takes a couple games for you not to be the good school, the cool school, for these guys to go somewhere else. I don't know. I mean, Caleb Cunningham, the more I watch his film, and I think you're right. Like Fav Adam just says it right here. He didn't even go to Big Cat Day. That was basically like their recruiting barbecue. So I didn't really see that. Caleb Cunningham, this is what I'll tell you. This is fact. Like, that's hypothetical, and I love the question. Thank you so much. What is fact? Caleb Cunningham is a bad man. My goodness. His highlight tape is unbelievable. You talk about him and Ryan Williams next year. Don't forget about Latsier Brooks. Think about the wide receivers that can come back as well. Jalen Hill's going to be healthy. Jaron Hamilton. Man. Oof. Caleb Odom. This guy, Caleb Cunningham, bad man. Bad man. And plus, on top of that, Jarvis, why would you want to go to Auburn if you're a wide receiver? It wouldn't even make sense. 188 up in the house. I appreciate you guys being here. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Thank you so much for being a part of Bama Football on YouTube. They don't really, like, who, I don't know who's their quarterback. Okay, here's another mailbag question. Out of Oklahoma and UGA, which one do you think will be hardest? I think it'll be UGA. Think of the issue on the road. Nervousness will be better than before. I think UGA will have revenge factor to bring everything they got. That's from Travis B. I appreciate it, Travis B. Thank you so much. The Georgia game is going to be more challenging. I mean, they're each going to be challenging in their own right for two different reasons, but I think straight up Georgia will be more challenging than Oklahoma. Look, I think Jimmy, I appreciate you, man. I think the fact that Georgia, this is why Georgia and Alabama, this is a rivalry game. Let's call it what it is. Alabama fans don't like Georgia. Georgia has amnesia about the last couple times that Alabama has just, spanked them on the hiney. The crazy thing is that Georgia fans don't even remember the SEC champion. I've never seen anything like it in sports. They don't remember the SEC championship game. It's weird. Georgia does have a good squad. They are coming to Alabama. They are the favorite in that game. They are the preseason number one. They do have Kirby Smart. They've won the last 31 out of 32 games. All the pressure's on Georgia. Kalen DeBoer's never even coached an SEC game before, right? Never even in coaching a game for 100,000 people. That's going to erupt that fire in the belly, I promise you, for Coach Kalen DeBoer. That might be the first time he says a swear word. I can't wait to see it. Which is fine. Yo, Coach Saban would let him fly. And that got the team fired up. Oklahoma will also be challenging in its own right because it'll be on the back end of the season. You'll probably be banged up at that time. It's a very challenging schedule, compounded on the fact that you had just played Missouri. You have just been playing against Tennessee, LSU, and then you got to prep for Auburn as well. It'll be cold. That'd be tough. Kalen DeBoer says we will play lights out against UJ. I think so too. And what's going to happen in that game? Alabama fans are going. There's going to be a lot of reverse rat poison because people are going to be like, "Well, Saban's gone, can't do it anymore. Jalen Milroe can't win a big game. Blah blah blah. This and that." It'll be reverse rat poison. So Georgia right now favored by 4.5. That'll be the more challenging game out of the two. I appreciate the question. Thank you so much. Another mailbag question: which position group will surprise us with how well they perform? I think that this was a good question. The way that I looked at this was one of the groups that's impressed me has been the tight end room. I'm tough on the tight ends. And I still feel that they don't have this overly dynamic tight end that can just take over a game. It's not really part of Kalen DeBoer's philosophy, but they are going to use the tight ends. I've been watching the tight ends closely this fall camp. They've impressed me. They can catch the ball. They're super athletic, and they block really well. I've heard that they've made some really great blocks downfield, which is really important. Jarvis is saying the secondary, and I think out of all the groups right now, that group has the most. I think Kalen DeBoer or Kane Womack has the most pressure, and then the secondary. Jalen Mbakwe recently said openly that he feels that the secondary is the most talented in the country. They may very well be. They just are not tested yet. And they will grow up in a hurry, I promise you. Western Kentucky, experienced quarterback. South Florida, where they don't really throw the ball, but that quarterback experience. Georgia and Wisconsin, Tyler Van Dyke. Right? I don't know who the starting quarterback will be for Vanderbilt yet. Have they named a quarterback over there? The quarterbacks in the back end of the season are a little bit more unexperienced. But the secondary, that we're all watching that, right? All right, another mailbag question in from Bobby Nash. Bama has a hard stretch of games late in the season. Will the team be able to weather it and not have a letdown? Can they take it one game at a time, not look ahead and slip up? That's up to them. And I think comes with the script A, these guys know that it's a one-game mentality. Oh, Diego Pavia, my boy from New Mexico State. What's up? Roll Aggies. Hey, Case, I see you inside the comment box, man. Good morning to you. Feel Good Friday. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. This is up to the team. This is called mentality. This is called how bad do you want it. This is called taking one play at a time and understanding that nothing is final and that the scoreboard does not matter at all until the game's over. I didn't make that up. Coach Saban said it. So you take it one play. That's why he's so pissed off when the score was 50-14 and there was a false start late in the game. It's not over till it's over. So it's up to you and your teammates to dial in every single game. If you're punched in the mouth, raise your hand if you've been punched in your life. It's not over, right? You continue to fight through it. You ever dealt with some adversity in your life? You ever lost somebody close to you? Is it over? It's not over. It's never over. So it's up to the team to be able to have the right psychological disposition week by week to perform at the highest level to be able to win in this conference in the back end of the season when it is absolutely going to be super challenging. On the road to Neyland, Rocky Top Camp, that's their Super Bowl. Going to Brian Kelly in Death Valley, I don't care. That's a hard place to play. Going to Oklahoma, hard. Playing Auburn, coming over here, yeah, come over here, Hugh Freeze. That guy, he can coach. He ran for 244 yards last year against Alabama. Run the Table Sports, man. What's up? I see you inside the comment box, man. Thank you for being here. Brent is asking, who would I got, Florida State or Georgia Tech? Man, you know what? I think about this game tomorrow. Number one, I can't wait to watch it. It's in Dublin, Ireland. If there is no program in college football history has more drama around it than Florida State. They are in the headlines every single week for some weird reason. Like, they would be a team to go to Ireland and lose. And then to find out there was like an ineligible player for Georgia Tech, and then they like sue, and then they win that game, and then they go the rest of the season, and then they find out that they were ineligible too. You see what I'm saying? And then every single time I look, there's something weird happening with that program. So I don't know. I mean, Florida State has a lot of guys from Bama, which is cool. But man, it's weird. Thank you. Right, JG? True, Kyle. Florida State was like Beverly Hills Housewives. It's the weirdest thing. It's not like they just win or lose. Something weird happens. Like, they'll kick a field goal and the ball will, like, blow up. And they'll be like, well, was it a good field goal or not? Like, it's weird watching them. Right? I don't know. Like, there's like weird juju with that team. And Brent Key, he used to coach here at Alabama. Coach Saban was up in Dublin, Ireland, watching that game. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine Florida State wins by more than 2 touchdowns. I have no idea. We'll have to see. All right, more mailbag. What game are you looking forward to most this season? Who is going to make the biggest impact on defense? I think who's going to make the biggest impact will be this guy right here, Jahad Campbell. What about you, Undefeated? Who do you think out of all the players on the defense will make the biggest impact for Coach Kane Womack and Coach Kalen DeBoer and their teammates? I think Jahad Campbell is about to go crazy. And I think I'm going to answer the first part of this question besides Georgia, because I think we're all looking forward to that Georgia game. So let's reframe that, if you don't mind, Joe Rice. I appreciate it. Which game are you looking forward to most other than Georgia? Kyle Burge inside the comment box is saying Deontay Lawson. Love the pick. Malachi Moore is a great addition. Daniel, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box. Chris from New Jersey is saying LT Overton. Outside of Georgia, I'm going to say, which game am I looking forward to most? I'm going to say the game against Tennessee, I guess. And the reasoning for me for that is that it's on the road, and that'll be Coach Kalen DeBoer's first on the road game against Tennessee. The last time Alabama it played up in Knoxville, they lost. I think that'll be, there's going to be a high stakes game. A lot of people saying LSU. Man, LSU's fun to go to. Going as a fan to like Tennessee is cool because it's like Vol Navy and all that stuff. But like, there's something about LSU. A game over there is cool. Like, it's like if you haven't seen it, you have to go. The traffic will piss you off. You can't find a place to stay. You're gonna stay in a 1-star hotel. It's wild. That stadium is gigantic. It's loud. The food is good. The tailgate, I'm not gonna lie, the LSU, the food is good. It stinks like corn dogs, but the food is good. You make some friends with some people that feed you the gumbo. Right? But I think I'm looking forward to most that game against Tennessee. Other than Georgia, of course. That whole back end schedule, I can't wait to see it. In Tennessee, they recently got Jaden Harmon. They talk. There's a guy that has a good YouTube channel for Tennessee. He's a truck driver, and you should check it out. I forget what he's called, but he has a ton of subscribers, and all he does is just talk like Tennessee football while driving his truck. It's good commentary. All right, another mailbag. I think Bama goes 16-0. What's your opinion from Bond 1849? All right. This is a good question. I don't think that Alabama will go 16-0. I think they'll get punched in the mouth once or twice. And the reason I say that is you kind of go back to history, and I quickly brought up records under Nick Saban, and I scrolled through it. He only went undefeated twice. Think about that, twice. Five Adams, he's in. He's like, I got you at 16. Wouldn't that be something, man? If Kalen DeBoer comes in here, they put a statue up on him real quick. Saban only went undefeated twice, 2009 and 2020. That 2020 team, man, that offense was, whew. Mac Jones came in and just laid it down. I knew that they were going to be something special from the jump, clearly, with all the guys that had coming back. But when I really learned that Mac Jones wasn't messing around was that first game. Remember because it was all SEC schedule. When he came in, and remember this? Do you guys remember this when they were playing Missouri? And he labeled off all of the defenders from Missouri's team. He was like 15, 14, 22, 21, 51, number one. Remember that? And everyone was like, oh, this dude's not playing. Mac, yeah, and he was Big Mac, man. He played at like 235. Remember his girlfriend was like taking him cookies and stuff like that? I just think it's going to be tough for any – I don't think any team will be able to run the table this year. That's just my opinion. So I don't think Alabama goes undefeated. Now, definitely high hopes to win the whole thing for sure. I think that's realistic. I think winning a national championship is realistic for sure this year. For sure. But in terms of going 16-0, I don't think so. And you don't – I mean, look, you play to win the game. You don't want to lose a game. But in this new world of college football, you can afford to get punched in the mouth without being penalized to be completely knocked out of the playoffs, right? All right. This was that graphic I was talking about, the transfers. Right? Look at it. I mean, Jeremy Bernard, Caden Proctor, Parker Brailsford, LT Overton, Damani Jackson, Keon Sabb, Graham Nicholson. And this is the group that I was hyping up, too. The special teams. Graham Nicholson, James Burnap, Neelan Hibbett, Jeremy Bernard, Cole Adams. I don't know who will be the punt returner. I still don't. And I don't know who will be the kick returner. That's the one thing that I just don't know. And then this group right here, the corners. I mean, a lot of icons right there. Transfer in with Imani Jackson, a freshman, and Xavier Brown, freshman, Jalen Mbakwe, and a transfer in Deshaun Jones. So we'll see how it goes. Time to play. Time to lace them up, right? Fam, I appreciate you so much for being here on the show today. I hope you enjoyed my Friday segment. And tomorrow we have college football right here on Bama Football on YouTube. The hat is from Chris Mobley, and as I mentioned earlier in the show, there's going to be some new Link gear that is dropping at retail stores, probably on campus, so keep your eyes posted for that. I appreciate you guys so much for being here, for being a member of Bama Football on YouTube. $2.99 to support the product. Super Chat's greatly appreciated. Just a thumbs up. It really goes a long way. Florida State, Georgia Tech tomorrow at 11 a.m., I think, from Dublin, Ireland, so we'll all be watching that game. And, Marcus, I'll put a link to the merchandise. If you just type in athletes thread, and then you can type in a player, and you can pretty much get any player that you want. Some of the players have, like, specific deals for themselves or, like, different shirts. But, let's say you wanted, like, a Tim Keenan shirt. You could just type in athletes thread and then type in Tim Keenan and then select, like a shirt or a jersey or something like that. That's how that works. Nick Saban as an analyst tomorrow, right? College football game day. There's a lot to dive into. I appreciate you guys being here for rocking with me today on Bama Football on YouTube. It is Feel Good Friday. Be good, people. Let your hair down. Enjoy this great thing called life. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Please support all the other great content creators, the websites that cover Alabama football. There's a lot of great people doing such a great job covering the team that you love, the Alabama Crimson Tide. One more time, from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube, live as news happens, Monday through Friday, live at 9 a.m. I will catch you next time, right